The Midday Mix on Mix 93.8.
Mr. Ziggy Albert's kicking off the show today with tattoos. Welcome to your Midday Mix. Speaking of which, we have Ziggy in studio with us. Ziggy, how are you today, man?
Mate, better now I'm here. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolute pleasure. So, you hot off the heels, performing at Splashy Fen, your debut there. How did it go?
It was really, really good. You don't know how, I guess, these sort of shows are going to go, and I was doing like a headline there, so I thought it was kind of big. I'd say that's as foreign a festival as I've played to do a headline, so you don't really know how it's going to go regarding sing-alongs, but seriously, it was back-to-back, a huge response, so I was just stoked, you know. It kind of couldn't have gone better. I had a really, really good time.
And your observations of it? Like, I mean, obviously, you mentioned like it's difficult going in for your first time. Did you have a good time there? Did you meet lots of people? What was your impression of it?
Yeah, it was really, you know, the Drakensberg is like it was really cool country, like very, very special place to see in South Africa, I felt, you know, to get out of the cities and be in this kind of country plains where you felt like you could have been anywhere, you know, and to, I guess I had the Pierce brothers there as well from Australia, who are some friends of mine, and so yeah, we just hit the love bubble, and it was a really nice festival.
So you're busy on the South African leg of your Rewind tour, which is going to see you perform in like 80 what was it, like something like 80 shows around the world. How do you prepare for something like that, and how do you manage to keep that energy throughout a whole year? Because I mean, you're on stage, you're performing, you're traveling, a lot goes into it, a lot of moving pieces. So how do you manage to just juggle everything and keep those shows on point each time you perform?
Look, it's an ongoing, that's an ongoing, I guess, answer, and you just keep trying to find ways to rise to the occasion. Having a great team around you, that's the primary thing. Things have been so much easier. As you're starting out, they're the hardest because you have the least amount of support, and then they hopefully incrementally get easier because they're more organised and you have more support in your team. And so, yeah, man, I mean, this is my biggest touring year since 2019, so it's going to be intense, but it's a wonderful challenge, and as long as you kind of just try and, it's pretty simple, get enough sleep, drink a lot of water, and then just find the love bubble each show, and then everything's good.
And you're good to go. What was your experience like in Cape Town at the Biscuit Mall?
Yeah, it was a really fun, rowdy show. It was a totally different vibe to Cafe Roo down in Noordhoek, but it was it was really sweet. We had like 600 people in there, and for that space it was pretty packed out. Yeah, it was really sweet. I'd love to come back and play another venue there in Cape Town soon. You know, it was Splashy was like such an epic, you know, ridiculous sound setup, and at the Biscuit Mill we kind of put our sound together. Yeah. Because more typically like well, Jeremy actually said he used to busk there back in the day. It's more of like a market space. So it's something that you know, as we keep evolving the shows, I look forward to. Cape Town's such a beautiful place. Like, I've got such an easy time hanging out there because I just go across the mountain to the surf, and it's like ridiculous. So
for sure. I mean, it's one of the better spots that you could probably find in the world, apart from the incredibly cold water.
It was seriously shocking how good the surf was there. I was kind of blown away in the small stretch of coastline how good it was. They've kept a pretty good secret wrap on that, I think.
I think that's by design as well. Those guys love their spots out there. So Ziggy, in terms of this Rewind tour, I mean, it's going to keep you busy probably for the better part of the year. How do you juggle that between, you know, traveling and then musically? Do you focus on writing at all, or maybe even just getting ideas together while you're out on the road? How does that side of things work?
I woke up thinking about that today, of all things. I think when I get like little links in between, so I'll have like a week off coming up in Portugal after the show before the next style of tour, and then I have a couple weeks off after this tour before some more shows with Jack Johnson in Europe. And so in those times is probably where I'll sit in a little hotel or Airbnb and just tinker away at songs that have been on the back of my mind. And yeah, because the road's pretty inspirational, and so that's the double-edged sword. There's definitely times where a song will come to you 1 a.m. and you just have to try and get it down, you know. So it's not up to me. I just try and figure out the sweet spots when I can.
For sure. What's the process when inspiration does strike? I mean, you're out on the road. Obviously, not all the facilities are available to you, but with technology these days, it's pretty amazing. So, what, you just like whip out a phone, kind of do some lyrics, record if some music riffs come to your mind?
Man, you wouldn't believe it. There's little microphones. I'm just pulling up my phone here. There's little microphones that plug into chargers of iPhones now. That is so good. So much is released. Some recordings on Spotify just through that. Like, you wouldn't believe how good the technology is now. It's insane. So this, for me, for the effort of what I do, is perfect. Less the technology, more keeping your voice well enough to be able to go and do extra singing outside of shows, that's probably the biggest challenge, you know?
Yeah, I can only imagine. So I see you've got your guitar with you. Are you going to play something for us today?
Well, I assumed I would. I can.
I'd
if you'd
love
like
to.
me to.
Yeah, of course. So any experience to have someone inside of the studio playing live, of course, we can't turn that down. What are you going to be playing for us?
I'd like to play you a little track called The Sun and the Sea today.
Okay, The Sun and the Sea. Take it away, Ziggy.
You got a nice level there?
Yeah.
We wanna be famous, but we don't really mind what for, and we wanna feel different, as long as nobody's keeping score. And I wanna get high on another supply, living so conveniently, and I only wanna protest when it's on trend, and everyone else there agrees. We're still figuring out well, we came to remember, feeling like an outlaw, living in the post-truth era. We're figuring out well, we came to remember, citizens in an uproar, living through myopic eras. The sun and the sea always work it out. The sun and the sea always work it out. And we wanna be honest, ignore the elephant in the room, and we wanna have culture, but cancel it when it ain't my views. I wanna get high on another supply, stop living so conveniently, and I wanna go protest, not cause it's on trend, I'm standing in for what I believe. We're still figuring out well, we came to remember, feeling like an outlaw, living in the post-truth era. We're still figuring out well, we came to remember, citizens in an uproar, living through myopic eras. The sun and the sea, we wanna be. We wanna be. We wanna be.
Hey, Ziggy, thank you so much for performing for us. If you just tuned in, that was Ziggy Alberts, Sun in the Sea on Mix 93.8. And yes, the man is in studio with us playing that live. So, Ziggy, you're going to be performing at Sonage tonight. You're looking forward to it? It's a great venue.
I'm looking forward now. I know how to pronounce the name. I thought Sonage would be cooler.
Dude, my best friend always calls it Sonage. It could be Sonage. It seems kind of French-like.
I'm calling it Sonage now, and also I'm calling it Sonage in Randytown. That's Randburg.
Yeah, I think it is. We're going to have to speak to the owners of it and settle this debate, because I call it Sonage. Some people call it Sonage. It sounds, I like Sonage though. It sounds a bit mysterious.
Look, let's find out how, mysterious and like upbeat in French we are later on, and see if it's Sonage or Sonage later.
For sure. So you're going to be performing tonight. Tickets are available via your website?
They are. They're still available by ziggyalberts.com. Come on down. We've got support on from 7 p.m. I think, and I'm on at 8:30. So yeah, come on down. It's going to be a jaw of a time.
Perfect. I love it. A jaw of a time. Perfect way to spend this 4-day work week. Ziggy, thank you so much for coming through, and best of luck for this. It's the last gig for South Africa. When do you head back?
So I'm not going back home until I'm not going back to Australia until like September, October.
Oh wow! So you're legitimately on the road right now?
I'm on the road, yeah. So next stop's going to be Europe. So yeah, it's going to be a big one.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure to have you in studio. Always great to catch up, man. Best of luck for tonight and for the rest of the Rewind tour. I know it's going to absolutely rock, and yeah, safe travels, man.
Thanks, man. Always good to chat. Thanks to Mix as well. Cheers.
Absolute pleasure. Ziggy Alberts in studio with us, chatting about the Rewind tour. You can find tickets for tonight's show. I believe it is in Randburg, Stratham Park at Sonage or Sonage. You can find your tickets at www.ziggyalberts.com.